With options expiry approaching, it's no doubt prices favoring the probabilities of forcing the 7 strike and maybe even the 6 strikes out of the money for a worthless expiry. While the upside is still the primary objective, I must remind you about the play as it was said over the weekend. Welcome back to the channel on this Hump Day Wednesday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. Let's kill him. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Let's go ahead and look at ticker symbol FNGR. So we're going to go ahead and start this off with the ARQ indicators, and this is going to be that very popular one, the composure indicator that identifies the manipulation in the markets, right? So please go ahead and take a look at this right here on the 4-minute time frame. This marks off now the 4th day, I believe it was, right? I think, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is now the 4th day in a row of manipulation in the market, and there have been days to where FNGR has not faced any manipulation, right? So I just find it interesting that the volume of manipulation is increasing now. Okay, so this is the 4-minute time frame getting a read up here just at about almost 11 a.m. Pacific time, which would be 11, 12, 1, about 2 p.m. Just about almost 2 p.m. Eastern time, right, or New York time. So now the other iteration that I have here is actually based, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the 1-minute time frame. There it is. So yeah, that's the 1-minute time frame manipulation signal here. So we have 2 shots of it. That was right at the market close. So right at market close, this thing fired off right at about 647, forcing the price all the way down to $6.32, and then to consolidate around there, right? So now the next thing I want to talk to you about here is a small cascading effect that I'm noticing, and this would actually be kind of this would lead to a continuation to the downside. But this downside that we're facing, it's not new. We actually did speak about this, and this is something that's already part of a play. So if you stick around for the video, I think maybe at the midway point, I think I'll get there, and I'll show you the objective and what we spoke about over the weekend. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this, right? Let's get rid of these arrows here, and I already blocked out the visibility from composure. So now let's take a look at this here, right? So these 2 moving averages, this is the SMA 200, right? Like the purple line, and this is the SMA 50, the teal line. So this crossover here, when you have the SMA 50 cross beneath the SMA 200, that is called a death cross, right? So that usually identifies a kind of bearish price action, and this 50-day simple moving average can act as a potential guide for price to follow a downside objective, right? So I want you to know that it's not the end of the world of this, because the fact is that it is a 4-minute time frame. If we did reach the daily time frame and we got a death cross, that's something to worry about there. But 4-minute time frames, these usually tend to look at how many times it crosses over, right? So from the span of just let's say the 1, 2, and 3 days, we have 1 crossover, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crossovers over the last 3 days, right? So you can just see how often these tend to recover, right? So now regarding the composure algorithm, right? Please go ahead and get in touch with us if you'd like to open up a subscription to these, right? ARQindicators@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and now move on to the next chart and see what we have, right? So here, team, this is actually something that would kind of back the immediate short-term time frame downside thesis, and this is the simple fact that we actually printed bearish engulfing here on the daily time frame, and usually bearish engulfings lead to a downside. However, I must say that there have been iterations where FNGR has essentially ignored bearish engulfings, right? Particularly here. This is one massive bearish engulfing, and just entirely ignored. It never even continued to the downside here. So I just want to put it out there like that, right? So in fact, if it does get a downside, it could face a little minimal downside or something. right? But yeah, this is it is a bearish formation, and uh, we have to look out for that, right? So now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here. And actually, before I do so, team, please remember that I have about 9 seats left from the 30 that were announced about a week or two ago for the ARC Masters trading course. So definitely get in touch with me at ARCMastersCourse@gmail.com to reserve your seat and get enrolled for the 16-week mentorship that should be starting soonish, right? So please go ahead and reach out to me there and get enrolled. Let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here, team. And this was yesterday's analysis right over here. We noticed live that there was a head and shoulders formation. And this gave us a downside target of $6.32. And now if you can go ahead and just focus in on this arrow here that's signaling the low there, let me hover over the candle and take a look at that. That low came into $6.32 on the money, and that is in fact where we faced a bounce from today, from identifying this formation here. So in order for us to gain that price objective, we took a trend line from the top side of the head, and right, and then we took it to the neckline here of the head and shoulders formation, and then we applied it to the supposed area of breakout, or the area where we would break out the most. I guess, yeah, this was the most likely area that we were going to break out. So we set it there, right? And it happened, right? So yeah, the 632 target was absolutely met today. And that doesn't mean that the play is over for a downside. It just means that, momentum has been shocked here, and we have been facing a pretty aggressive downside. Now, there is another kind of speculative thing here, and that looks like a dead cat bounce. Right, so this is a 5-minute time frame formation, right? So we have to be kind of careful about things like that. So I know that this is kind of a FOMO candle here, down to 632. So we're gonna have to take that. We're gonna have to take 2 price objectives here, just because of that, right? So first of all, let's go ahead and measure the top of the cat to the very bottom of it, right? And then we apply this trend line under that to give us a price objective. And that price objective is, let's see, let me just go ahead and tighten it up, is $6.14. And it looks like we do have a few things located right around that 614. And in fact, there is a 617 right up here. So that naturally gives us a range. So let's just go ahead and keep that in mind. 617 to 614, we'll mark it off like this in the event to where price action does decide to go that low. So now the second target to take advantage of would be, or to take into account, would be from here to here, right? Since we are perfectly at that support level now. So let's just go ahead and also take that into account. I don't want to discredit it, right? Because it is a little confusing, and there could be confusion here in the overall psychology. So we must kind of keep that in mind. So now we'll apply it to this line here instead of this one, right? And that would be giving us a target of about $6.20. Now, I almost feel like that could be the one. And why would you ask that, right? So, or why would you say that, ARCa, right? So this is why. Because I've been speaking about this support zone for quite some time. Even this morning, I said that in the event to where price action reaches the downside, please remember that we would be looking at a focus between 638 and 623 by the end of the session. And today, of course, we reached 632. So the focus being 623, that rhymes very well with the, hold on just a sec. Yeah, that rhymes very well with the previous chart of the dead cat bounce suggesting a 120. Right, so that's yet again another range for us to look at, right? So we're going to go ahead and just keep that in mind too. So here we go, and let's make sure that we can list that 623 target there. Okay, team. So now, yeah, this is now yet again another chart that we can use for reference, right? And now, in case you guys are taking screenshots and stuff, I can go ahead and provide these targets for you just like this, right? In the event to where you are trying to keep track of the play. I certainly do this all the time, right? So, and we're also covering this during the AM, right? In the sessions, in the live stream. So don't hesitate to come on by. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, right? So that you are aware whenever I am streaming or posting any content. Okay, so this is what the play is kind of looking like so far, right? So let's go ahead and now touch on what I spoke to you about earlier about the what we spoke of in the weekend, the trajectory or the objective here. So I was talking about a potential upside into the target of about 736 to about $8 as a resistance. Price action touched 736 dead on, right? So hovering over the candle and looking at the OHLCs, particularly on the high there, as I hover over it, you can see right up there that it says 736. So we got that 736. I said that from that area there, we would likely pull back into this range here. So, and now we've already bounced one time, two times actually, from that 643, I think it was. Yeah, 643. And it looks like we may actually want to touch the bottom side of this, but there are a couple things that are in the way of that, of the $6 target. And I will show you what the linear regression bands, that is kind of in the way here, right? So that would suggest that price action can reach down here to around $6 and about 16 cents. And that should, let's just say that I would do it here at, let's just say that I would do it by lunchtime NYSC tomorrow. That would be $6.17, right? And why does that sound familiar? Well, that's just because we already spoke of that right back here. $6.17 to $6.14. So our discretionary and psychological price objectives are meeting the mathematical price objectives. Okay, so this is when things start rhyming like this, that automatically should give you kind of an indication or a hint that price action may actually bounce from that zone there. Okay, now 617 is also the low of this candle here. And that is, please notice it right up here on the L, right? So let's hover over that candle and take a look. L, 617. We have lots of rhyming at that 617 target. So now it almost forces me to kind of put in the focus at 617 with a total range of $6 to $6.43. Right. So now, yeah, it feels like maybe by lunchtime tomorrow we can get a bounce from here. It could happen right away. I'm not sure exactly the time, but that could be the case there. So let's move on to the next chart here and see what the deal is here. Okay. So now this is a Bollinger Bands. This is my reversion variance script, right? And it's set so that it can give me a mean as a label. Okay. So we've broken beneath the mean. And we are already breaking beneath our key support of 636 to 639. So what that means is that we are likely to reach down to the bottom side of this, of the regression bands, or I'm sorry, of the Bollinger Bands, right? So this would be volatility represented on pain. Okay, so now let's hover our mouse here over the bottom side of this Bollinger Band and see what target that gives us. And what do you know? Look at that, 623. And look at the low down here, 617, right? Feeling pretty okay. Not bad for us to notice some of that rhyming, right? So yeah, there's a lot of rhyming within that 623 to 617. Price action doesn't have to stay there. Remember, we do have a lower bound of $6, which is that super critical resistance and support that we've used several times now. So this is yet again another, this is actually set to 3 standard deviations below the mean. So 3 standard deviations is equivalent to $6.23. Okay, so now let me see what we have over here. I don't think I have anything of specific importance here other than the bearish engulfing that we already spoke about. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the RSI. A little bit of consolidation here with a potential upside on the 30-minute immediate short term. But everything in general is consolidating in this immediate short term. Downside pivot here, slightly downside, approaching the gravitational zone in the bi-hourly time frame with the moving average, the SMA 14 above the price. Above the signal line, which is bearish, and suggesting a slight downside here. Okay, so that's good. That is suggesting that we would, or it is validating the current thesis. Right, so the 4-hour time frame shows to have support from the gravitational zone to get pulled up here, right? So, but the thing is that the 6-hour time frame it's in the danger zone for a downside. Not to mention the fact that the daily is already making a bearish crossover from the SMA 14, approaching the gravitational zone down here, which would then validate the daily time frame bearish engulfing, right? So, man, yeah, there's a few things to kind of settle here, right? But it's okay, you know, things like this happen all the time. We have to be as observant as we can be, right? So, I guess overall, you know, and these timeframes here are consolidating. They're waiting for the decision here to be made from the shorter timeframes. So I think that we're going to be facing some negative price action due to the fact that the major expiry for options are going to be this Friday, and seeing that Thursday is tomorrow, I kind of feel like there's going to be an enormous amount of foul play, and probably going to force the asset to push some of those options expiries out of the money, so that they can expire worthless, right? So this, if we do face a very, very short-term upside team, I let me see, where did we? So we closed at 6:35 at after hours, right? Yeah, we could see about a 6:41, 6:39 to 6:41 resistance top. I'm not sure that we can reach all the way to 6:52, but anything's possible. But yeah, so 6:39 to 6:39, 6:41 and 6:52 would be my targets for an upside, a temporary one, before us continuing to the downside to reach what could be a potential double bottom, right? And then this thing could actually start ripping to the upside. We shall see what is going to happen with the ticker, though, team. So appreciate everybody for listening up. Please remember to reserve your seats for the ArcMasters trading course as soon as you can, as those seats are getting taken pretty fast. And if you are interested in the ARQ indicators, please go ahead and get in touch with us here, and we'll pass you all of the details. All right, team? Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 never. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything would be cool. It will be. But with that said, I wish you well, very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.